Hey y'all, we're out in the garage one last time. The old gas tank episode here, fuel tank leaking. Not gonna make it to the races. I could probably run around chasing down a company to do some welding, but kind of pointless at this point. I mean, I could go into the big story. I'll explain it in the description below. But I'm spraying a little soapy water on here. This is the bottom of my fuel tank. And we had a lot of trouble when we modified this gas tank when we got the cart from Scott. We cut it in half and took about 2.5 inches out of the middle because the tank was huge. And then we cut the bottom off and took about 3 or so inches off the bottom. This tank originally, it was so big that I couldn't, when I got the cart from Scott, I couldn't fit between the engine and the gas tank. My shoulders were too big. That's how big the tank was. It held 5.5 or 6 gallons of fuel, and it was that big because Scott needed the extra weight because he's a slight little fella. So when I got the okay to go ahead and cut the tank down and alter it and stuff, I went ahead and did it. And this, whatever this tank was made of, it was black. It was anodized black when we got it with the cart. It's super hard. It's very hard. It's very brittle. It isn't like your standard aluminum that you would use to make a fuel tank, where you'd bend or put sheet metal brakes in it or bends in it. And the welder I gave it to at the old shop I used to work at, he was an expert, man. He was a great guy, awesome welder. He's no longer with us anymore. His name was Scott. He had a hard time welding this thing, so I knew we were going to be in trouble sooner or later with this fuel tank. And the leaks that are in it are just ridiculous. I got some pressure going in there now. I mean, you take a look. You see those bubbles there? I mean, I've got air literally blowing right out at me. You hear that? Whoa. Holy cow, did you hear that crack? I mean, this thing it isn't just leaking in one spot or another. It's leaking everywhere. Let's put a little more stuff on here. You see there's a big one there. There's a few here. Let me get right in there so you can see them. Put a little more air pressure in it. See, they're there. You see them? There's one here that's just squirting. Here it is. Look at this sucker. I can feel the air way out here. Way out here, you can feel the air coming out of that thing. And you see what's going on here. I don't just have a little crack to weld up. We've got a major, major problem here. You see him? Wish I had 3 hands. Or a cameraman, one of the two, but I mean, you can see him. It's bad. I put some magic marker on here. It was a big crack in here. So, there you go. Not going to make it to Grattan. Not sure what we're going to do about getting this thing fixed. Maybe once we get a hold of our buddy Tony and we can run it over to his house, we get it welded. My brother-in-law and my sister, Deborah, God bless you, Deb, love you. They owned a big, massive welding company here in Metro Detroit for a bunch of years. My brother-in-law, Larry, was a gifted welder. And he made a lot of contacts through the years working for other welding companies, and started his own business. And this thing got to be huge. He worked for did all the die repair for the big 3 here in town. And of course, when our government had to buy out and pay for our big 3 companies, minus Ford, I guess, it caused a problem to all of their vendors and the people that did work for him. My brother-in-law got so stressed about, he ended up losing his business because the big 3 couldn't pay their bills, and they owed him millions of dollars in welding and delivery and heat treating and just all kinds of stuff. It was a great big company. So this has gone on for a long time. I've never paid a dime to get any welding done ever in my life. and I'm having a hard time doing it now. That's why I'm not going to make it. If I can't get a hold of my buddy Tony over there to run it by his house to try to weld it up, then it ain't going to get done. I'm not going to pay somebody to re-weld the whole bottom of this tank just to make sure there's no more leaks or nothing in it. You look at probably $100 at a good welding shop. And I'm not saying it's not worth it, but I'm not going to pay $100 to have that kind of work done. So not when you're used to getting it done for free. So it's back to the drawing board. We made some phone calls trying to find a little 7-quart tank that we could use just to test with. You know, we wouldn't be able to run a whole race on it, but just to get out there and test. And of course, when I told people I was going to need to drill a hole in it to put my fuel line, my pickup on it. You know, we've got a pickup on our fuel tank here that's just like a sprint cart tank. It's got a swinging pickup inside of it, and we pump the gas up out of the tank. And nobody wanted to let me drill a hole in their tank, which I don't blame them. You know, I mean, those things aren't cheap, especially an aluminum one. But there you go. We're not going to make it to Grattan. MIS then, I guess. I don't know. I don't know what's next. Of course, my buddy Chuck, he's pitching me VIR in another week. We still have the same problem. We only gotta gives us more time to get this thing welded up, but I just don't have it in me to spend 50, 60, 80 bucks, $100 on getting this tank welded when it's just the wrong material altogether. I'd rather just make a new tank, to tell you the truth, and we can't do it in a week. I mean, I could, but we'd need a welder again. So we're right back to where we were. So that's it. That's why we're not going to make it. You couldn't see all the leaks, but I mean, it's bad. It's pathetic. It's pissing out air, and it's all over the place. Why? Just after we ran it the other day, the fuel sat in this tank for 10 days before me and Chuck started it up on Monday. And Tuesday, the big puddle was there. So those things don't happen by mistake, folks. Everything happens for a reason. Y'all still have a safe trip. Hope everybody has a good time. It's going to be hot. Drink lots of water. It's 98 degrees in here right now, and man, I'm good. I was kind of looking forward to getting out there, and we may still come out. Me and Chuck might jump in the truck and come out and see y'all on Saturday, and just to hang around and watch you fools run around in circles. But that's it. That's all we got for you today. The gas tank is botched. Plans, the best laid plans, are always changed. See you, folks.